Hello and welcome back to Behind the Battle podcast with me, Paulson Victoria. So I didn't do anything last week. Why? Because I was preparing for my driving test and I really, really, really wanted to focus. And it worked. I passed. So I'm very, very excited. I can now drive, which is good. So we will be getting an episode Monday, which is tomorrow, because I'm filming this Sunday because I'm absolutely terrible. I've been so busy with work recently to the point where it's like I am writing a book of my own, which is sort of like a diary, where I am just recalling my clients and my day-to-day and my sessions and things. And I find it really, really intriguing. So that's what I'm doing currently, and I don't know if to potentially just create podcast episodes with what happened this month, what type of sessions did I have and things. I think it would be quite interesting. And I think if I did it once a month, I'd definitely be able to do something. So, yeah. I always have something going on in my brain or something to do, but I have a bunch of Q&A questions, which I definitely need to answer at some point. They were really good questions, which have made me really think, especially how I'm going to answer them. So, let's carry on with An English Madam, then the Life and Work of Cynthia Payne by Paul Bailey. Interlude. A miniature atomic explosion. Box D 434. Dear Madam, I would like to attend your next party if I am acceptable. I am male, aged 44, fit and strong, a former cavalry man, weight stripped 10 stones 7 pounds, height 5'8½", chest 38, waist 30, good shapely buttocks. I was used as an exhibit at a party about 12 months ago in London. Two of the highlights were when my body was used for a treasure hunt by the guests who could buy 5 pins for 2/6 to stick in and try and find the treasure. The spot was picked by the hostess. The winner took all the money as the prize. Secondly, at midnight with all the lights out and in pitch darkness, 2 young ladies lit my pube hair with matches, burning it all off. Further details can be supplied if you are interested. Yours, Exhibitionist Pierce. Dear Judith, may I make my visit on Friday 17th? You ask what I want you to do with my boxing gloves. Well, to tell you the truth, it was my intention that I repeated what I did last time and that you just put the gloves on. However, as you have now increased your fee, I'm not quite sure if you had anything in mind. You mentioned if I would like you to punch me on the nose, and I feel that I could stand the treatment. It sounds rather exciting. Did you mean this? And would you like to do this to me? You see, Judith, I have been very interested in women boxing and wrestling for some years, and I have a rather large collection of photographs on the subject, and I was wondering if you should know of anywhere in town that holds such functions. Please write by return. I am enclosing stamp. Dear Bazaar Lady, I have just read my first copy of New Friends and was delighted to find your advert. I have been interested in way out fun ever since my divorce 2 years ago, but finding shop window postcards most disappointing. Maybe you have something better to offer. I am 46 years of age, 6 feet tall, weight 12 stone, and have fair hair, blue eyes. Am well endowed with the symbol of manhood, uncircumcised, but with very free moving foreskin due to exercise. I am strong and virile and experienced in many ways, have taken part in bondage incidents, and shared pleasure with as many as 3 other people at once. Should like to come and visit you with a view to submitting to any form of verbal/physical examination of my interests/abilities, and would do all I could to demonstrate that I was the right person to come to your parties. Do please write soon and fix me up. My longing is growing with every word I write. My buttocks ache for the sting of your riding crop. Dear advertiser, very interested in your advertisement. I am aged 45 and desperate for some unhurried attention. Would you be prepared to wear a skirt and tie, supplied if necessary, during treatment? Please give full details of service offered, including fees. P.S. Presumably bondage is included. Dear Lady Y, 19. I am seeking a new mistress, and your ad has prompted me to ask whether or not I will be accepted as a regular visitor. That is, if you are wicked enough to treat me as I deserve. And as my former mistress used me, she has, due to her husband's business, moved to Suffolk, and it is no longer practical to travel so far, hence my looking for a lady nearer home. I am going to be perfectly frank and honest with you, and tell you what treatment I enjoyed and what gift I am prepared to give you for a regular fortnightly session. If none of my suggestions appeal to you, just answer no, and it will be quite okay. When we are undressed, my mistress shows her respect for me by spitting in my face. I take along my own handcuffs and key for her. I am then made helpless and gagged with a pair of her soiled panties. When I am in this position, she then amuses herself with me in various ways, most of them painful to me. She is quite proficient with her whip and cane. She also makes good use of her fingernails, teeth, feet, and has even used her cigarette on me while sitting suffocatingly on my face, thus preventing any objections or crying out from me. She always uses those words that are naturally taboo. Hoping to hear from you. My dear lady, I replied to your advertising, H39, and I wish very frankly to meet with you for a afternoon frolics. I love you too, as you say, dominant to me. I love you very much, yours dimensions. You must be a lovely, charming lady where everybody love to be with. I enclose a remittance. I think will be enough to let me have you photo. I am looking forward for you. Sincerely, Ari, with my love. Dear Judith, Judith, you are the only person I know who is genuinely understanding and well organized. So I am writing to you very frankly to ask if you can please help me, and if you can possibly put me in touch with the right person. I would not, of course, remain ungrateful. Ideally, I am seeking one regular, understanding lady friend whom I could visit every 2 months for an hour or so, preferably between 1 to 3 p.m., Monday to Thursday, although I might arrange a morning visit if more convenient to her. Frankly, I prefer someone rather older, aged 38 to 46, if possible, and preferably English, including Jewish. Otherwise, European, blonde, or brunette, perhaps a frustrated housewife. Her appearance is entirely unimportant to my way of thinking. She can be plain, thin, scruffy, etc., or buxom, or matronly, like, for example, the maid in your flat with the foreign accent. I don't suppose, though, she is one of your team. But what is really important, and I do mean this very sincerely, is that she should have a very strong natural odor coming through her blouse from under her arms, as this is the only thing that turns me on about a woman more than anything else. I promise you, I myself am, of course, spotlessly clean. That is to say, when I arrive, she should be dressed in a knee-length woolen, nylon, polyester, or tricelle dress, blouse/skirt, or blouse/slacks, black if possible, but this is not important, and for at least 2 days and 2 nights beforehand, she will not have washed once under her arms, or used any artificial disguises such as perfume, eau de cologne, deodorants, powder, etc., so that she has a very noticeable sweaty pong coming through her blouse. This would really mean everything to me, and would then like to undress her slowly, giving her "oh" under each arm, while she played with me, etc. It is also very important that the clothes do not have the slightest trace of any scent or deodorant that she may normally have used beforehand. If it would be more convenient to her, I could see her perhaps on a Monday, so that she could go the whole weekend without washing, and thus would not embarrass her other friends. To produce the right effect, she could have a bath on the Friday night, but using simple or non-perfumed household soap, fairy, then put on a clean set of clothes or undies. She would then not wash or once remove her blouse until we met on the Monday, even sleeping in it each night, and nature would do the rest. My request is only My request is really quite a simple one, and not really all that demanding. If you consider that less than 100 years ago, when ladies seldom took a bath, and scent was too costly for most people to afford it, was considered perfectly normal for ladies to smell of BO under their arms. Even today, there are many ladies like that, as I know only too well when travelling in the crowded rush hour tube on a hot summer's evening, or if you visit any of the large overheated stores in Oxford Street towards closing time and walk behind some of the sales supervisors, you will soon see, or rather smell, what I mean, and you can perhaps imagine just how frustrated I feel on such occasions, as I find that odour so very sexy. If you do not know of any mature lady in the age group I have mentioned, perhaps one of your younger ones may be willing to prepare herself in the way I have suggested. You are the only understanding person I know in whom I can confide, Judith. So I do hope you can help me. I could come over one afternoon and we could either have a chat Or you could perhaps even introduce me there to someone suitable. Hope you are keeping well. Dear Madam, I do not know a lot about transvestites, but the idea fascinates me, and I should enjoy meeting such people, although I do not wish to become one myself. Although I am not homosexual, I think that a really good transvestite would excite me quite a lot, especially if he were the dominant type, with a truly dominant woman. I am, of course, completely docile and subservient, and before coming to this part of the country to live, I spent 6 months as a slave in the home of a German lady who used a very firm hand with me and often ordered me to my knees before her. I had learned obedience in that house, but circumstances arose which made it wiser for me to leave. Although I do not find it an easy thing to do, or probably I should still be there. I can tell you about this in detail if we meet. I should only tell you in the plain truth. I do not like people who imagine or invent things which have never really happened. Dear Miss Mansell, you sound just the sort of person for whom I have been searching. I have all my own clothes. These include ordinary frocks and dresses, and including a variety of girls' undies, corsets, high heel shoes and boots, together with wigs. I have also one or two outfits, such as a maid's and schoolgirl's uniform, and am excellent at housework. I also enjoy bondage and moderate discipline, and I like to be treated as a girl in a lesbian relationship and be made to pay homage to my girlfriend. If you possess a dildo, so much the better, so that you can humiliate me even further. The only thing I would ask of you in addition would be to make me up, as this is an art that is beyond me. I have some leg cuffs which entail taking small steps when walking, and I could bring these too if you wished, although I prefer to travel as light as possible. I love to make oral devotions to a girl when dressed as a girl myself. Dear Judith, it was such a pleasure to meet you briefly this evening. I wonder if you know how much of a relief it is to speak of something secret to someone who understands at once and is so sympathetic into the bargain. It was very nice to think that I might know even more than you what men like, and I can't resist going on a bit more about my favourite subject. I enclose a couple of pictures I took of dear Jasmine in 2 outfits I bought her. As you see, she is wearing a grey box-pleated gym tunic, specifically shortened for her, so as to show lots of leg when she is standing up, and of course white socks. The striped tie she found herself. We got the tunic and hat from John Lewis, the blouse from Marks and Spencer. Notice the hair ribbons and the plaits. Knickers are a bit of a problem because I really like them to have brief elasticated legs, but nowadays little girls wear them cut more like briefs, and there isn't real elastic in the legs. Jasmine sometimes wore some directories which had exactly the same effect I like. Colours are important. The knickers should always be a different colour from the tunic or the dress, as then they show up better. Please not black. Navy blue are nice, and green, and of course white. I think Sonia should have all 3, and perhaps change them during the scene. The tunic can be grey or green or even maroon, as navy is a bit dull. As you see, I also got Jasmine a striped frock, like they wear in summer. We went out on Hampstead Heath and caused a sensation. You'll notice how very short it is. Actually, it's pinned up at her waist, which I enjoy doing myself. These are two very modest pictures of her. Some of the others are a bit too warm to send through the post in case they burn the envelope. Summing it up, the outfit should be as authentic as possible, and it's most important that the knickers are proper schoolgirl ones and not just grown-up panties. I do so look forward to hearing from you again, and do let me know if I can help in any way to get Sonia fitted out. Would you be very kind and return the pictures to me by using enclosed label? Dearest mistress, take me and train me to be an efficient, loyal slave to your whim. Make your voice the voice that initiates all my actions. Squeeze my soul through your fingers like putty. Humiliate me. I am a slim TV with a passion for rubber and bondage, who needs only to be shown true fear to make me into a full and dedicated slave. Wash your feet in my tears of shame and pain. Your slave, Rhoda. Honoured party giver, can you supply a nun at your next shindig? Severe face and Irish accent for preference. Yours beautifully, D. Cameron George. Dear advertiser, the reasons I was attracted to your ad are that you offer CP mild, most unusual. The dominant bitchy type leave me cold. Over the past 20 years, I have found that those who specialize in it very often do not have any equipment for it other than a sweet pea stick and a strap-off address, with the result that I always carry suitable items with me. Lightweight tours, a plated cat, something like a horse's tail, and a paddle. Here, I have half a dozen assorted canes, but they are too long to go into my suitcase. Besides being awkward to carry, on the day, I would appreciate hearing what you have in this line. Dear Miss Mansell, I have been given your name and address by a friend who, like myself, is transvestite. I would be glad to receive details of the services you provide and the times you are available. As I am married with a family, it is very difficult and indeed very frustrating at times to dress as I would like, and whilst my wife is reasonably sympathetic, one has to think of the children. And occasionally I'm in a position to pass through London on business. And this is when I get the opportunity to feel and dress as a woman. Thank you in anticipation. Dear Judith, I love lots of cuddling and kissing. A woman is a beautiful being to be treated with care and tenderness. Oh, the joy of holding and kissing her breasts, of putting my fingers between those outer lips, stimulating that magical clitoris, then slipping down lower until they slide up into that warm, slippery vagina. Oh, you can guess the condition of my penis as I write. Dear Judith, thank you for your letter. I shall, if I may, call you on Wednesday 8th at 6:30. A word about myself. I'm sure you have your fill of men's troubles. But anyway, my sex life is not at all as balanced and relaxed as it should be. I am a bachelor and have had less sex, I imagine, than the average man. After a deep involvement quite a few years ago, I funked the whole issue and tended to my pleasures by myself with fantasies built up from books. Quite normal sex, but fantasies. Now I am moving back to reality at 46 and find that sometimes I don't react to the real thing at all. I'm beginning to warm up slowly, but it's going to be a gradual thing. A not unpleasant prospect, but in the back of my mind is the little nagging feeling that my partner in the joys of sex is comparing me unfavorably with others. The sex act for me is not using the flesh of another just to get pleasure for myself. I like to be able to feel that I am giving her some pleasure and that we are cooperating in something at the heart of life and living. Of course, this may be somewhat spoiled by the realization that the transfer of a little something from my pocket to yours is involved, but it shouldn't. At least it is perfectly honest and straightforward. You do you do me a big favor in return for a little one. I'm in my 40s, tall and attractive, looking and have had a lot of experience in dealing with naughty girls. You can rely on me completely not to go too far, but I would be firm because that is the best way. The spanky's bottom would be barred for a sound spanking with the slipper or strap so that she has a lovely warm backside. Other refinements I would love to discuss with you, but I find these things easier on the telephone. If you would like to send your number, we could have a chat, and you could make sure you like the sound of me. In the meantime, have a very good Christmas. Dear Miss Mansell Smith, I have a long, wet, attractive, tantalizing, titillizing tongue, which I can guarantee will make you rife with pleasure and delight, and when you reach your climax, you will feel as if there has been a miniature atomic explosion inside of you. It is so long that I can lick the end of my nose. I am a past master in the oral arts. P.S. To ensure complete satisfaction, I will always remove my false teeth before setting down to work. Okay, so that is that little mini chapter, the little mini interlude. I'll be honest, that was really, really off-putting when the guy was talking about using literal schoolgirl panties. I have a few stories of my own, and I used to do schoolgirl role play, but it's not great. I do see it as really creepy. Um, yeah, because schoolgirls are all under the age of 18. Yeah, like maybe, reminiscing of, the past and stuff when you were that age. But I feel like you should maybe start trying to be attracted to just women in skirts and blouses, but not schoolgirl attire. Or at least not use the word girl, because that really makes it young. And for me, it's very off putting and kind of gross. Yeah. I've recently came to terms with I don't like the word sissification. I prefer feminization, and I prefer to have clients who are respectful towards women rather than me calling them sluts and whores and them wanting to degrade themselves looking like women. Um, yeah. There's a few different types of clients which you can get where they just want you to dress them up, make them really slutty, and refer to them as a woman. And it changes your mind chemistry, I want to say, and how you see men. And men especially who want to dress up as women, but in the major humiliating way of being a woman, you know? Like, it's a bit hard to explain, but I do want to go in more in depth with this because I feel like it needs to be talked about in some sense. I mean, I do get clients who want to be dressed up and called a whore and all that stuff, but they do it in a respectful way. They don't do it in a very rude, misogynistic way. But I'm not gonna try and get sidetracked. But yeah, this has been Behind the Battle podcast, quite a short episode. If anybody has any ideas on different topics and things, then give me a message. I'll see you guys next Monday, hopefully. Bye.